Welcome to another episode of Hi Exclusive right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today I'm here to speak about a great initiative that was launched recently, but to give an inside scoop to it, I have Mr. Anuradha Hemachandra, who is the director at Vogue Jewelers. Now, you would have walked in here, experienced amazing service. Not only that, the brilliant craftsmanship that goes behind some brilliant pieces that you can treasure all lifelong. Talking about 6 decades, I want to speak more about it. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Danu, and thank you for the nice introduction.
Tell me about this 6 decades. Vogue has always held a very close place to a lot of people's heart. Tell me about this brand. Why do you think it's so personal for people, and why do they always come back?
Yes, there's a quite simple answer to that, Danu. Actually, my grandfather started this business back in 1962, and we've come a long way, and the only thing that we strictly keep in mind is the core value that he has taught my father and now to me, that is to do business with honesty, because a dishonest business will never last long. And we give a quality product, a very good service to our clients, and on top of that, the right product at the right price. It has to be a reasonable price. I'm saying we are not the cheapest, but the price is very reasonable. And of course, the brand loyalty that our clients have also been having with us. So that's helped us along the 60 years, to be where we are today.
It's not easy when you actually give a lifetime warranty, and that's how great this brand is. Something that's amazing on a personal level, I can say, once long time ago, I walked into the showroom at the initial start of the day, and it was so welcoming, and there were prayers, and there was all of this unity within the team, and it was remarkable. I came for a meeting early in the morning, so I was able to see it from an outside, and I thought, wow, that takes a lot. Now, talking about recently, I was here to see a brand new collection that came out, and it was absolutely stunning. Some of these pieces really speak the true value of Sri Lanka. But more than that, this also has a great partnership and a phenomenal initiative. Tell me about it.
Yes, we've actually partnered up with the WWCT, Wilderness and Wildlife Conservation Trust. What they do is mainly, they've identified that the leopard is getting, endangered, mainly because of these traps and snares that, they get caught up. And what they do is they create an awareness program to these rural villages, especially in the mountain range, and they educate the people there that not to set these traps and, try and minimize the death that's happening. So we partnered up with them. We've introduced the Sri Lankan iconic collection we launched it, and then we are giving 10% of the sale towards that trust, and which they will invest further into their research, and they will spend more on their tranquilizers. And because when a leopard gets caught, tranquilizers are quite expensive now with the import restrictions as well, so they really do need funds. So I think it's a great initiative, and as well as a meritorious deed too.
Vogue Jewelers unveils a glorious new collection representing Sri Lanka's iconic treasures. Ornate, rare and grand, the individually handcrafted Sri Lankan iconic collection To Save the Leopard is inspired by Sri Lankan flora and fauna, art and craft, architecture, and history, culture, and tradition. This splendid all-occasion iconic collection evokes the island nation's pride and celebrates the essence of the resplendent island's wealth of heritage. While showcasing expert craftsmanship, the collection is versatile for the carefree, serious, and traditional spirited moments. The leading iconic piece of the Vogue Jewelers Sri Lankan iconic collection is inspired by Sri Lanka's beloved Kotia, the leopard. A vulnerable Sri Lankan icon in the wild, this invaluable treasure that needs our protection inspires the collection, the stunning, iconic Kotia.
That is true, definitely. I have to ask this question. You all have called it the iconic Sri Lankan collection. So that means throughout the years, it'll concentrate on different projects that are closer to Sri Lanka, just like the leopard?
Yes, to start with, this is the first project that we've done with a CSR combined product. So this is the first time that we are going through with WWCT. We'll run it for a year, and then hopefully if it picks off quite well, we will look into other projects too.
Amazing. Now, how you can contribute is by coming, enjoying this piece of jewelry, wearing it, and passing the news around, because there's a worthy cause behind it. So I want to speak about the collection a little bit.
Yes, so these items are all unique, handcrafted, and it resembles an iconic feature that symbolizes Sri Lanka. So we have the lotus pond, the Ambake, then the Hansapur tour. We also have gents cufflinks, and on top of that we have the leopard pendant as well. And whatever the products that you see, it has some uniqueness, resemblance to Sri Lanka.
Even the making of it, how did you all work on the designs, and was it a process? How did you all think of it?
Yes, initially we thought, if you are going to launch a collection to save a leopard, it has to have some relevance to it. And the best relevance is that which is unique to our own identity is these items. So we thought, yes, we should go along those lines and develop and design a range which will nicely fit into this framework of the Sri Lankan identity as a whole.
Yeah. Something that everyone sort of looks out for is when they do have a project attached to a brand, they're like, oh, how can I be guaranteed that, this funding is going there and the service that they are promised to do will happen? How can you assure that to our people?
Yes, that's actually a very good question, Danu. What happens is when a customer makes a purchase of that particular product, they will be given a link in which they can click and they can see where the funds have been utilized for, and they will give it in detail what your funds are in use, in progress, and you can see basically how your funds are being directed, and you can keep a good track of it. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And considering the fact that they give you a lifetime warranty, sort of assures the fact that, they're not the ones who are not here to stay. Talking about a lifetime warranty, it's a big mark of assurance.
Yes, Danu, that's actually a very strong guarantee that we give, lifetime guarantee. But I must mention something on that connection is that lifetime guarantee comes on the gold, the raw materials, the gems and diamonds that we use on the jewelry, and not for the usage, because we faced many instances where clients come on to us with the bad usage. What I meant by bad usage is they wear the jewelry to the gym, then they do the washing and day-to-day household chores. On top of that, when they go to these parties, they go a bit overboard with the alcohol and they start drumming on the table. And these rings are very delicate items, the jewelries are very delicate. So when you are smashing the table about 3 feet off the ground, the ring won't stand because it's not iron.
Correct.
Gold, it's not hard as iron. And on top of that, the transportation of jewelry, they just crunch it and put it in their handbag. And what happens if somebody sits on it? How can it withstand about an 80 kilo or 70 kilo person? No chance. So yeah, we do give a lifetime guarantee on the gold, gems and diamonds and other raw materials, but not on the usage.
Yeah, so handle it with care. But you all do have records of one of the first purchases that were made. I remember there was a story on that as well, over the fact that which was sold by your grandfather. And
yes,
yeah, that's amazing. We need to get into a break because there are some unique features when it comes to Vogue, and I need to speak about it. These are things that I really wanted to discuss to know how wholesome this brand is. When we do come back on Hi Exclusive. Welcome back to the show. It's Hi Exclusive in conversation with Anuradha Hemachandra about all the amazing things that Vogue Jewelers offers. Now, recently they launched a collection that simply celebrates Sri Lanka in all its elements, and this is to save and help the leopards of our country. Now, talking a little bit about the wholesome part of this brand. Now, if you have been to Vogue, you'll know that from the entrance onwards, they greet you, they give you personal care, and you have not a moment where you have to sit and think twice before you ask. Everything is provided. Now, going back in time, this is one of the first buildings that still stand on Gaul Road.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We actually constructed this building in 1967. We started off in First Cross Street in Petta in 1962. So this was one of the first buildings that was opened up for a business and had a basement car park too.
Correct.
I mean,
and it's still the same car park because it has been modified.
It has been modified now into a lounge, but that car park, a lot of people used to ask my grandfather, is it really necessary? I mean, this is just all coconut trees and houses, and why would you need a car park?
Yeah, you can just park
and that
on the
also
road.
A basement on top of it doesn't make sense. But that shows how visionary he was. He has not just thought 10 years or 20 years ahead, he has thought well ahead and built a car park.
Yeah, and now it's a fight for those old companies because you can never park, and it's such a crucial thing. In terms of the legacy that you all hold, it has been coming down generations, and how has it been taking over, changing, fine-tuning? Even jewelry has moved on with years. How do you all work on the designs, elaborate, and come to the new phase of life?
Vogue Jewelers is quite an innovative brand. I must mention, my grandfather invented this chandelier earrings for the 1962 December 31st dinner dance, which was worn by a very famous model back in the day, where when the clock struck 12, the lights went off and you just simply just switch it on and it just glows. And he invented the golden lasso, and then we came out with the Tusker collection and now the Sri Lankan iconic collection. So to sustain in the industry for this long, you must come out with innovations and to keep the consumer interested in jewelry.
And in terms of an investment, it's always a great thing to invest on because it's timeless and it sort of stays with you. Now, talking about all these great initiatives, you all have also won multiple awards. Now, recently, you all have been piling up on it. Tell me about it.
Yes, we actually won the most innovative diamond jewel award in Dubai, which we competed with 150 countries, and we were the only jewelry brand in Sri Lanka to win an award in that platform. We give a GIA certification for diamond, which is above 25 points. So we assure you what you're wearing, and that unique certificate number is inscripted in the girdle of the diamond.
Oh, okay. So it's always,
yes,
you can track it and find it.
Yes, on top of that, we won a hat trick of the TripAdvisor as well for the Traveler's Choice.
Brilliant. And now, talking about generations, have you all ever dressed 3 generations in terms of people who have come in and bought jewelry?
Of course, indeed. Okay. The grandmother, the mother and daughter. We have many customers, who have all 3 generations. And they show the pictures, oh, this is my grandma's wedding, this is my mom's wedding. And sometimes the granddaughter wants to match the grandmother's jewelry because they are still in fashion.
Correct.
The vintage collection.
I've actually heard so much about the generations that have walked in here. On that note, we're going to take a break because there is one unique feature that I need to ask you about when we do come back after the break. Do stick around. It's high exclusive. Welcome back. We are still in conversation about this amazing brand that we have all grown up knowing. Now, you were speaking about a coin machine. What is a coin machine?
Yes, we do have the latest Italian technology, Mario di Mario, which we are the only company so far that has that company, which gives the mirror finish, the superfine finish in a coin that you purchase. And as you know, with the recent inflation situation, a lot of people shifted into converting their cash into gold. And gold coins is the absolute best investment that you can go ahead with, and that gold coin will have the super fine finish.
Right. And this shift in the economy might have taken a hit here as well. How did you all manage it during that time? Well, we are not out of it, but I'm just saying.
I think it's safe to say that the jewelry industry did benefit, because when the rupee did devalue, people actually shifted a lot into jewelry and gold. And initial demand was for gold coins, and when soon as the coins got out of stock, people shifted into buying jewelry, 22 karat jewelry, because as you know, from ancient times, gold has always gone up in value. I mean, if you dig up a treasure from the floor, from a king's time, it's gold, gems and gold.
Correct.
So it's a very sustainable investment to do.
Brilliant. Now, talking about the quality that you all maintain, it's hard. You have a bigger team. Sometimes teams come and go. What are the principles that you all hold close, and you all will never ever think twice about deviating from?
Product quality, as I had mentioned earlier, and what I have to say is, I'll actually let out a secret that we do follow, how to ensure the quality. The product has to speak to the customer, not the salesperson. If the product talks to you, that means there's a super fine finish. And my father, the managing director, is personally involved in the quality checking process and the production process, and it goes through a stringent number of processes before it comes to your hand. If not for my father, I personally do the quality check of each and every item that comes to your hand.
It has a command line.
Command line, and it has to go through the board of directors before it comes to your hand.
Right.
That's the way we have ensured that the quality has remained and sustained for the past 60 years.
Right. Now, over the years, you all have always maintained a very signature look when it comes to your advertising as well. The faces that you all use, the campaign that you all do. Tell me about the reason and the faces that you all have chosen. They have made a bigger name here, I think.
Yes, we actually compete with the international brands. That's where we look out. That's where we benchmark ourselves. And before competing with them, we compete with ourselves. We have to do better than yesterday, and we have to do better than today for tomorrow. We don't compete with anyone else. You have to improve yourself throughout the years. So that's what we firmly believe in, and we also like to think out of the box when it comes to advertising and our marketing campaigns. We set the trends, and the others do follow.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of brands that have come up, and back in the days, Colombo 3 had like one or two known jewelry brands, and now it's quite cluttered with a lot coming forward, and it's always a fight for the price. But you have always stood in that position where you've always held. Have you all looked out at the competitions? Have you all seen what they do, or you all don't bother about it so much?
Like I mentioned, Danu, yes, it's a very friendly competition, but we really focus on ourselves. But on the other hand, the reverse psychology to it, I would think that the competitors coming into the industry is actually a good thing. It pushes you up. It pushes you to do things that you didn't do before. It sort of improves yourself better, and the whole industry as a whole comes up, because when the competition is high, people are, they try to innovate, they try to become better. So I think overall, more entrants coming in is a good thing.
All right. This is a personal question. As a third generation, are you worried to fill these shoes? Have you looked at your grandfather, your father, and be like, man, I have a hard task ahead of me?
Definitely, that the thought does come into my mind. I mean, a lot of burden on my shoulders. I mean, a lot of expectations as well.
True.
Because they have set a very high benchmark and expectation that I have to live up to it. So yeah, it is a challenge. But what is life without a challenge?
That's true. Well, just to recap, we are speaking about this amazing new range that was brought forward by the team at Vogue Jewelers. This is to help and save the lives of leopards, because we have been, unfortunately, taking it for granted, and it's such a phenomenal animal. And tell me about this collection just once again and your partnership.
Yes, we partnered up with the WWCT. And this Sri Lankan iconic range resembles a unique heritage feature of Sri Lanka: the Araliya Mala, the lotus pond, the leopard itself, and the ambakke, and the swans, the Hansa Padakkama. And a percentage out of 10 will go to the WWCT, which will then be used for the conservation of the leopard.
Brilliant. Well, these are all elegant pieces. Looks phenomenal. I was here at the launch. There are some that are here as well. Come enjoy the jewelry, and remember, when you do enjoy it, you're actually helping in contributing to save a life out there, and also the fact that we can preserve our wildlife as well. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for all the inside scoop. It has been absolutely amazing. We will see you with another episode of Hi Exclusive. Till then, you keep smiling.